Hello everybody and welcome back to another Scratchmas day. So today it's Sunday and I'm going to make a big family Sunday dinner. So I want to take you guys along with me. We're going to make a whole chicken stuffed with a rice stuffing. We're going to make a cherry cobbler, some sweet peach sweet tea, some lemonade, and what was I making? Candied carrots and some sauteed kale. That's what we're going to make today. So we're going to get started. It's 12:30 and I just wanted to get going on that. I was going to make dinner rolls as well today, but I don't think I'm going to for today. Just we've had, I feel like, enough bread here lately. But let me just tell you, the first thing that I did is I got a big bag of frozen red sweet cherries and I topped it with some sugar. And I'm going to let this just sit for a few hours out on the counter. I'm also going to get some rice started real quick. I just put it in my rice cooker and I'm just going to use some long grain rice because I need cooked rice to go into the chicken. So I'm going to get that going, and then the first thing I'm going to share with you guys is we're going to go on and make the lemonade and the sweet peach tea. So first thing I'm going to do is I just have some water here that I'm going to get going. Put that on high and get it a boiling. Then I'm going to add, once this is boiling, some country peach passion tea. We love this stuff, and actually I'm going to go on and add that now because I like this to steep longer than the black tea bags. So I'm going to add 4 of those. And then once it comes to a boil, I'm going to add about 4 of these black tea bags. Alright, now that this has come up to a boil, I'm going to turn off the burner and just scoot this over from the heat. To this I'm going to add a pinch of baking soda. It just helps take the bitterness out of the tea. I'm going to add my 4 tea bags and 1 cup of sugar. And then I'm just going to stir this because it is a sweet tea. And then I'm going to time it for 5 minutes, and then I'm going to pull out the black tea bags. But I'm going to let the tea bags for the peach tea sit in for another 5 minutes. So 10 minutes total, besides what it took to boil for the peach tea bags, and 5 minutes for the black tea bags. So it's 12:40. At 12:45 I'll get them out. And then to add a little extra peach flavor, if you want, you can always add a little bit of like a peach candy flavoring. And that's something we just always have for when I make candies. That can be added as well for a stronger peach flavor. All right, we're gonna let this just sit. All right, so now it is, I went 1 minute over, but I shouldn't make it too bitter. I'm gonna remove the black tea bags. I'm just going to stir it again to make sure all that sugar is down, and then in another 5 minutes I'll take out these peach tea bags, and then we'll let that cool off so I can add it to the pitcher with some ice water. Alright, next is for lemonade. I like to do 5 lemons. That's just what I've found works best. So I'm just going to juice these real quick. Okay, so here it is, and then I'm going to pour this into the pitcher. Now this has quite a bit of pulp because the grown-ups all like a lot of pulp. The children do not. So when I make it for Luke and Theo and I pour them a cup, I strain it when I pour it. And that's just how I find the easiest. Then I also like to add just a little bit of lemon zest. Not too much. I find if you cut lemon slices and add them, that it looks really pretty, but it turns it too sour. And then it doesn't taste very good. It is also now time to take these tea bags out. So to this tea, to help it cool off so I can use this pot to make the syrup for the lemonade, I'm gonna go on and add some ice cubes to this just to help it cool off enough for me to pour it into my pitcher. And then I'll just pour this into my pitcher and I'll fill the rest with just some filtered water. Then I can just rinse this pan and reuse it, or this pot and reuse it. For the lemonade, it's just 1 cup of sugar and 1 cup of water. And then I'm just gonna stir this. I want this to just come to a little bit of a boil. I want this sugar to get nice and melted in here so that way you don't have gritty lemonade. Okay, if you can see, this is already getting there, but there's still some little granules of sugar. So I'm going to cook just a hair bit longer. Just watch, because sugar water will boil over really, really big if you don't watch it. Right now this is boiling good. I'm just going to turn off the heat. That should be good enough. I'm going to let this cool down for a few minutes. And then we'll add it to our mixture over there and then fill the rest with water. Alright, now all I'm going to do is just add a little bit of water to that. I'm going to add the syrup. Don't want it to get too cool in my pan or it'll just make a mess. And now I'm going to give this a quick stir and then I'm going to add the rest of the water. Alright, so now that I have done the drinks, I'm going to go on and work on this cobbler. So the first thing I'm going to do is in my pot, I'm going to cook down these cherries that already have the sugar mixed in. Okay. I'm also going to go on and get my chicken out because I want my chicken to sit out to room temperature for at least a half hour so that it's not cold when I put it in. If you want to add a little cornstarch to your fruit and sugar mixture, you can do that too to make it a little thicker. I'm not. I'm just going to leave it like this. And this is starting to get juicy, so I'm going to just let this cook down for a little bit. Alright, so this is how I'm going to leave it. These cherries look good, they taste sweet enough, and then I'll put a little bit of this juice on top as well. But let's go on and get this cobbler started. I'm going to start by preheating my oven to 350 degrees. And here, I'm going to take a stick of butter and I'm going to put this in to melt. While the oven is warming up. Okay, and then in my sifter, I'm going to start with 1 cup of flour, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, dash of salt, and I'm going to just sift this together. To that, I'm going to add about 3/4 a cup of sugar. about 3/4 cup of milk. I'm just gonna stir this together. If I need a little more milk, I'll add a little more. And it looks like I will. It should be kind of like a pancake batter. That'll be good. Alright, and that's it for that part. Alright, this butter is melted. So now I'm going to take this dough that we made, our batter, and just pour it over top of the butter. You don't want to stir anything, just pour it on there. And then I'm going to top it with the cherries. Again, I'm not going to stir anything. I'm just topping it. And this is going to bake for about 45 minutes. Okay, and then I'm just going to spoon a little bit of this juice over top. Not a lot, just a little bit. And then top it with some sugar. And this goes back in the oven for 45 minutes. Okay, so this leftover, like the juice, I'm gonna cook it down a little more and make it a little thicker and save this in my fridge as a syrup. It's a delicious cherry syrup that would be great and mix it with some sparkling water for a beverage, or if you drink Coke, you could put it in with Coke. It would be great to put on pancakes or ice cream or just whatever you would use a good syrup for. So I'm going to cook this down just a little bit longer. Cobbler looks and smells delicious. Alright, next we're going to start with the stuffing. I'm just leaving the oven at 350. I'm going to add a few tablespoons of butter. We're just going to let this melt. And then we're going to saute some onion and celery in here. And then the spices that we're going to use in here, I have, oh, I need to get the little stick out. I have sage, parsley, thyme, and some pepper. That's what's going on in here. Now I'm going to go on and add my onion and my celery. I will have this linked for you guys down below, along with the cobbler. I'm going to add a little bit of salt to this as well. Right, next I'm going to add some walnuts. The recipe called for pecans, but I don't have enough pecans for that right now. So I'm just doing walnuts in the stuffing. And we're just going to let this cook for just a few minutes. I'm going to add just a splash of apple cider. And that's just going to help deglaze the pan. Scrape all that good yumminess off the bottom. I'm going to add our spices now as well, our herbs. Just so they can cook and get a little bit fragrant. Sorry, you guys can't even see that. Okay. Now the spices have been added in here. They smell wonderful. Everything's smelling wonderful. I'm going to turn the heat off. I'm going to add some rice to this. I'm going to add an apple. I'm going to add a handful of craisins. And just mix this all up together. And this will be like the rice stuffing we're going to stuff the chicken with. Alright, now it's time to deal with the chicken. So I've got just some salt and pepper in here, and I am just gonna put that in the cavity and season that. Then I'm gonna take my stuffing and put that in there. Just get that nice and stuffed. And then I have some melted butter that I'm just going to kind of pour all over the top and rub it in. We're going to make a glaze to glaze this as it's cooking, so I don't need that done yet. I'm just going to add a little bit more of the stuffing. And then I'm also going to add a little bit of white wine in the bottom of this dish. Okay, I'm going to put this in the oven, and then we're going to make a glaze that towards the end of the cooking we'll start glazing the top of the bird with. Okay, so for the glaze we're going to start off with some apple cider and some pure maple syrup. And then we're just going to cook this and let it cook down for a few minutes. Actually, it'll take about 10 minutes or so once it comes up to a boil. You want to keep it boiling steady just so it kind of thickens up a little bit. Okay, so this is boiling now. I'm going to turn it down a little bit. And while this is going and getting thick, I'm starting to get the carrots ready to make the glazed carrots. Okay, so now for the carrots, what I'm going to do is I just have some carrots I cut up. I'm going to add just a splash of white wine. A little bit of maple syrup, just kind of a drizzle. A little bit of salt and some melted butter. And I'm just going to stir this all together. And I'm going to put this in the oven. Along with the chicken. And here our glaze is still just going. It's just gonna stay cooking just like that for probably another 5 or 10 minutes. Okay, if you can see this is turning more like a syrup. It's almost done. I'm gonna let this just go just a little bit longer and then it'll be done. Alright, so now we're gonna finish off this glaze. I'm gonna add just a little bit of Dijon mustard to this. Stir it in really good. Oh, that's looking really good. I don't want to cook that down anymore. Look at that's perfect. And I'm going to add a pinch of cinnamon. And this glaze just looks amazing. And we're going to put this on at the end of the cooking time. Alright, all that's left is to do the sauteed kale. So here I'm just going to heat up some olive oil. To this I'm going to add some garlic. Some green onion. A bunch of kale. A little lemon juice. Stir it up, tossed around. Now a little salt, some pepper, pine nuts should be good in this too. I just don't have any. Alright, I'm going to turn the heat off and just let this kind of just finish up in the pan. Alright, it's almost done, Sunday dinner. I just still have to glaze the chicken and get out the glazed carrots. And then that's it. Dinner will be done. It's 4 o'clock, so we're going to eat a little bit early. It's probably I'll be done about 4:30. And yeah, hopefully I can get this video out for you guys a little bit earlier than tonight. So, alright, I'll see you as soon as it's time to glaze the chicken. Alright, it is time to glaze, but this has turned so thick that I need it to just heat up a hair so I'm able to spread it. Okay, I think that's good enough. And the carrots are out of the oven. I just added a little bit more salt. What I love about these is they're not overly sweet because we got so much sweet going on. They're just a hint of sweet, and then the kale is very bitter. It's very bitter, like sauerkraut. Like, it's just very good and bitter. And so that's gonna go really good together. So next is our chicken. And we're going to glaze it with some of this good glaze. And then we're gonna put it back in for just a little bit. All right, I'm gonna put this back in the oven for just a few minutes. Just kind of let that glaze do its thing. Okay, here is the chicken, you guys. This looks so gorgeous. I don't think that it is getting justice on this camera, but so gorgeous. Cannot wait. Can let it cool and then we'll cut it open. All right, so here it is, dinner and dessert. I just have to get some lemonade for Charles. Now he will not do that. He will do this plate and that's his dessert. And then I'll get his lemonade. Wow. All right, he's gonna be our taste tester. It is just getting cold. So that's the stuffing.
That's kind of sweet. It's good.
Mm-hmm. I thought it was very good.
Mm-hmm.
Then the chicken. Are you gonna get some of the skin with it though? Because that is got the glaze and everything on it. Mm. But you don't have to.
So I just don't think without a knife I can cut that off by itself.
Probably not. It's alright. It's getting late.
Mm-hmm.
That was really good, really moist.
Mm-hmm. It's all very good. Mm. That's very good.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you'll find the fit mail house in your memory.
Carrots would be better hotter because now they've all cooled off. It's been a while since everything was
they're
out.
good.
Yeah.
Even cold, they're good.
All right.
I like carrots.
You got your lemonade and your cobbler.
I should have drank that between the chicken and the carrots because I still had that sweet from the skin. Mm.
I thought that was really good too.
Mm-hmm. You get a double thumbs up.
Yay!
2 thumbs.
Alright everybody, that's going to wrap it up for tonight. Alright baby, that's going to wrap it up for tonight. And I will see you guys tomorrow for Scratchmas Day 4. And thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to give a big thumbs up and have a great day or night wherever you are. Bye everybody.